I'm Carrie Peters, a recognized thought leader in the Microsoft Dynamics community and a Microsoft MVP for business applications. Welcome to the Get Your New View podcast. Keep listening to learn how we work with frustrated Business Central and NAV users who struggle to use their system and find the answers they need. We teach them to truly understand how the system can support their business processes to make immediate and lasting improvements. As a result, they get more done in less time, make better business decisions, and even love their system. In this season of the Get Your New View podcast, we will be talking with you all about training. In our last episode, we talked a little bit about the science of adult learning and the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve, and some of the challenges that adult learners have when they're attending training. In this episode, I wanted to give you some examples on exactly how you can have your team apply what they learn in training right away. How can you make sure that the training that you take today is usable on the first day that you're back at the office? We've all heard the term, use it or you lose it. This specifically applies to new learning that you have to actually enact it to put it into place, or that learning is going to go away. And that supports the forgetting curve that we talked about in the last episode, that the longer the time is since you attended training, the less and less you're going to remember. So one of the ways that we are able to help with our retention of that information is to practice. So I'd like to go over a few ideas on how you can practice that. One way is to do some homework. Maybe your instructor will assign you some homework, or maybe you'll assign some homework to yourself. Having something to work on later that's directly related to your learning is going to help you to retain that information. One thing I like to do with our students is have them write a postcard to themselves. We've done this with emails, with delayed send, all sorts of different ways. And what I've asked each of our students to do is, at the end of the class today, please list out the things that you want to try when you get back to your office. So they list that information out, and when we were able to meet in person, we would send them a postcard a week or two later after class to remind them. Or we've even done this with delayed send on an email, that a couple weeks from now, they get an email from themselves saying, hey, remember to try this new thing we learned. I think it'll work really great for your job. So having those reminders are a great way to do that. When I was a controller, I used to send my teams for training periodically. And one of the things I always had them do is when they returned back from training, had them write me an email or a memo outlining exactly what it was that they found valuable about the training. This really wasn't for me. This was just a way to get them to reiterate what it was they had learned during the class. And if they could state what it was and why they thought it was valuable, then they were going to be more likely to use it, to put it into action. Practice is a big part of this. I think about all of the students that I've taught financial reporting to, hundreds at this point in my career, and the number one thing that I hear from my students who've gone through my account schedules class is, I was so excited when I attended your account schedules class and I learned so much, but I didn't have a chance to work on it, and now I can't remember all the things that I learned. So putting that into practice is a really big deal, because if you attend that training, you get so excited about what you've learned and what you're able to do, you've got to set aside time to actually put that into place, or you will forget more than what you've learned. One way to do that is to block some time on your calendar. Set aside just an hour or two every week to practice what you learned. Be intentional about it. And I guarantee you'll see some different results. I actually like to create a project based off of what I've learned in training. So if I'm going to learn about a new software package, for example, I'm going to set aside a time to play around with it, try some things, but then actually apply it to something real in my job where I can put it into action and see how it actually works in a real world business situation, in my business situation for my job. If you're somebody who likes to teach other people, I always say that one of the best ways to learn more about something is to teach someone else. So you can also take the results of that training and bring it back to your company and pass that on to someone else. Just the process of explaining how to do something will require you to remember more about what you learned so you can pass it on to them. Using every available tool that we have to help us retain what we learned is well worth it. And if you approach it with some intention, you'll get much better results out of the training that you're investing in. Here's your action item for this week. Think about ways that you can provide some structure behind the retention of what you've learned. How can you plan to repeat and practice what you've learned so that you can apply it and reduce the amount that you forget? Anytime you plan for this, you're going to be successful. In our next episode, we're going to talk about how real-world experience can make a difference with training. I'm Carrie Peters. Thank you for tuning in to the Get Your New View podcast. For more episodes like this on YouTube, click the subscribe button and ring the bell to ensure that you get notified whenever new content comes out. If you're listening to the audio podcast, please share an honest review on Apple Podcasts. If you are ready to rethink today for tomorrow, look for the link below and contact us to speak with our expert team. You won't find the level of no-nonsense real-world experience we offer anywhere else, and we're here to put that experience to work for you. Do you think you could use more features of your software if you just knew how? Are you frustrated with inefficiency that never seems to get better? Did your team ever really get good training to understand how to use your business software? Do you suspect that there just has to be a better way, but you don't know what that is? We believe every company can benefit from increased efficiency and higher utilization of their software, and that it's possible to have fun while learning exactly how to do that. The experts at NewView Strategies work with frustrated Business Central and NAV users who struggle to use their system and find the answers they need. We teach them to truly understand how the system can support their business processes to make immediate and lasting improvements. As a result, they get more done in less time, make better business decisions, and even love their system. Please contact us at getyournewview.com to get started.